What's going on? What is going on? What is going on? It's your boy Julien Stoutt, licensed personal trainer, licensed PE teacher, world record powerlifter, special education teacher, here to take the fear out of fitness. We are about to take off and class is in session. Guys, I deeply apologize for Wednesday. I realized that some things were not in order, and as a result, you couldn't hear me at all. And that in of itself was a little disturbing when I realized what I did. And on top of that, I ruined the new opening. How do you like it? Give me a 1 in the chat if you like it. Give me a 2 in the chat if you don't like it. Or in the comments specifically, do me a favor and let me know what you think of the new opening. Does it need improvement? Do you like it the way it is? Do you like the old one? Let me know what's going on, and I appreciate your input on that. Be respectful. Don't be, disrespectful, because I can be petty too. So, since my debacle on Wednesday, I wanted to start off by saying, those of you who were not on my Instagram channel, my Facebook channel, I lost my pet chihuahua of 16 years yesterday, and I am still reeling from it. I'm not gonna lie. She was my spoiled brat. I spoiled her rotten. My wife spoiled her rotten. My daughter spoiled her rotten. We all spoiled her rotten. And I and my wife make no apologies for that. She was too cute for words. She was very feisty. She was very fiercely loyal. If she didn't know you, she wants nothing to do with you. Except for some strange reason, she really got along with my father, who she's only met the one time. And just took to him like as if it was me, ironically. I honestly have to say that is the longest I have ever had an animal in my life for that long. I'm not used to it. Actually, I'm not even used to animals in general. That's my wife's thing personally, but I have grown into that myself, and she would be the official fifth dog that I personally had say in getting. She loved getting kisses from me. Not we're not licking in the mouth. No, we're not doing that. But she did love being kissed by me. She'd turn around and put a paw on my nose. Her little tiny paws about the size of her paw pads were about the size of my fingers, 2 fingers together. She would take them and then mush me in the face. Sometimes she'll take both of them and just paw at me, but she loved being kissed by me. Absolutely loved it. And I am terribly, terribly going to miss her. The only reason why I am not absolutely disheveled at this moment is because she was in a lot of pain. And her cries in that pain were far more heartbreaking to hear than to lose her. And if anybody out there has loved an animal of any kind and had to let them go, you know what I'm talking about. And it is very heartbreaking to deal with that, especially when you cared about them. But I'm not going to, kill the vibe too much, because you didn't come here to hear me whine about my puppy. My diva, my P-fur, Princess Bella was her name. Princess Bella was her name. We called her Bella. We didn't really go by Princess Bella, but her name was Princess Bella. But anyway, welcome to the show, my Stoutsiders. We are on the Stout side. We are Stout side at 6:20 p.m. on a Friday night. Hopefully y'all are not doing too many crazy things right now. Hopefully you guys are in the house, to be honest with you, doing good things. But summer's here. It is now 2 days from June 1st, which is 23 days from the official start of summer. But I want to get ahead of this, because one of the reasons why I want you guys to be ahead of it is because I want you guys to get your minds right for this oncoming storm that's coming. Ironically, it's about to start pouring where I'm at. So I'm not going to belabor it any longer. Number one, first and foremost, when we are talking about the summer coming, the one thing that I'm going to tell you is that excuse me, it is discipline over motivation. You're not going to be motivated at times. You're not going to care to want to go to the gym. Why do I know this? Because I've had those times. You're exhausted. You didn't get your meal prep right. You're struggling. And you need to get to the gym. Like yesterday, I'm not going to lie to you. Yesterday, I did not want to go. Even after losing my puppy, I went to the gym for roughly about a good 30 minutes. I didn't go through my full-on routine because it was emotionally challenging. But I still went. I needed to blow off some steam. I needed to get my head back into some sort of space of familiarity, as opposed to wallowing in an emotional roller coaster that is losing your animal. But quick fixes and crash diets always fail. It will always fail. And that doesn't mean that there isn't a dietary component to getting shredded for a period of time. There is. You need to in truth, you need to eat less than your baseline metabolism or basal metabolic rate. Because if you don't, your weight loss journey is not going to be successful. The other thing that I would recommend is the majority of your meals are protein based rather than carbohydrate based, because typically your carbohydrates are about 60% of your caloric intake on a daily basis. But when you are trying to lean out, when you're trying to shred to look good for the summer and have those abs of steel and have those rips show up on your body to appear quote unquote dry, you need to have a higher protein intake, and you need to lower your carbohydrates by the near similar proportions that you increased your protein. So for instance, let's say your baseline metabolism is 1900 calories. Let's say 1700 calories, because that's where mine is. Your baseline metabolism is about 1700 calories, right? What do you think you need to do in order to lose weight? How much lower in your baseline metabolism do you need to go in order to achieve that killer body? Go ahead and give me an answer in the chat room real quick if you can, if you're watching, or in your comments. Go ahead and give me the number you think it is at this moment. I'll give you about 15 seconds to give me a response. Okay, if you answered 500 calories, congratulations, you have learned what you needed to learn from the textbooks. However, what I will tell you is the answer is incorrect. You don't need to shave off 500 calories off of your diet in order to achieve the body that you want to achieve. Why is that, Julien? Well, because you're not accounting for certain aspects of your fitness journey. First and foremost, if you need the first thing is if you're disciplined enough to stick to the number I'm going to give you, meaning on the dietary end. If you do this, you will have a much more pleasant experience dieting for this purpose and achieving longer term goals than if you were to merely follow the textbook. The textbook says 500 because 500 times 7 is 3,500 calories, which is basically 1 pound of body fat. However, the textbook is not wrong in assumption that you are not doing anything else. What you're not accounting for is your eat and your neat. Your eat is exercise activity thermogenesis. And obviously neat would be your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So what we're dealing with is we're not accounting for all of that, right? So if we do not account for that, then you are making your energy levels, you're depleting your energy levels to such a degree where you're not going to be able to sustain this lifestyle for very long. So what is the magic number, Julien? The magic number to me is 250 calories below your baseline metabolism. So for me, 1700, knock it back down to about 15, that'll be what, 1450? If I knock it back to 1450, I'll be able to function. Because as long as I'm eating good quality lean cuts of meat, as long as I'm keeping my carbohydrates within range, as long as I'm not adding, excessive caloric value to my food, such as sugar, in unnecessary sugars, in the forms of soda, Gatorade, when not needed, any kind of excess of juice or anything like that. As long as I am maintaining some semblance of control over what I put into my body, that 1,450 calories will be abundant in my eating endeavors, okay? It'll be way too much. For me, at least. Because I am 5'4", 160 pounds right now. If I want to get back down to 150, shave down to 150 and be shredded and keep my body mass the same way, but be shredded, that is what I'm going to have to do. 1,450 calories, work out, and let it be that. And watch how my body changes in a relatively short period of time. Because the exercise activity thermogenesis can be anywhere, depending on the intensity of your workouts, anywhere between 400 to 750 calories burned just on the lifting end. If you add the cardio on the back end, that's another 250 calories if you are doing a moderate cardiovascular workout. Nothing crazy where your heart rate is exploding through your throat. Just something that'll get you breathing a little extra and that you can maintain and get a sweat going. Sort of to what you see when you see me on the when you see me do my treadmill talks. When you see me do my tread talks, that's what I'm gonna call them now. Damn, that one came up on the fly. So if you see me doing a tread talk, I'm burning anywhere between 250 to 300 calories per tread talk. That is not including the actual workout. The lifting of weights. I burn an additional 600 and 700 calories per use of those. So with that being said, if I'm burning 750 to 900 calories, and then on top of that, I shaved off an additional 250 calories off of my baseline metabolism, right? What that means is I shaved off 1,100 calories off of my diet. And that 1,100 calories that I've shaved off of my energy yields means that I'll be losing a pound just about every 3 days. No cap. So when you guys go through this and you train and you push yourself, the discipline has to be there. You have to acknowledge this. And once you acknowledge this, it becomes massively easier for you to maintain or improve your fitness levels. Then the good news is you can now eat your baseline metabolism plus an additional 500 to 600 calories just to maintain the physique that you have improved upon. Now, when we get to the later portions of this podcast, I'm going to give you some things to master the art of being in social settings that are not typical to that of which somebody who is dedicated to improving their fitness and their body. Okay? Next thing I want to talk about is it's about to be hot. The heat is about to be on, people. And when that heat is on, what's going to happen is that you have to make adjustments because I forgot to mention your non-thermal energy, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis also plays a role once you have finished the workout. That actually increases once you have done work. Because now your body has to recover from that. And because your body has to do things in order to recover from that, that's even more energy that you're yielding. So there goes another 200 to 300 calories on top of that. added onto, if that makes sense. But now it's about to get hot. Now it's about to get crazy. And some of you think that you don't have to make adjustments. Well, I got news for you. You have to, because you have to stay hydrated. Because if you do not, you are going to suffer from either heat exhaustion, heat stroke, or heat exhaustion, heat stroke, or heat, good Lord, I lost my train of thought here. And heat cramps. Okay? And you're lucky if you get just the mere heat cramps. If you start going into heat exhaustion, you're in trouble. If you suffer from a heat stroke, you are even more trouble. Because what that means is that your body temperature has hit such levels where you literally passed out. Okay? And that in of itself is not good. Make sure that you are ingesting enough carbohydrates. You might have to make an adjustment or two for your carbohydrates, especially right before your workout. I promise you, there are people that are going to watch this show and they're going to be able to attest to you. Do not come to my workouts and not eat 2 hours before you get there. If you are not carbohydrate loaded for your workout, yes, and I want you carbohydrate loaded, meaning the majority of your carbohydrates needs to be ingested 2 hours before your workout. And then you can make adjustments afterwards. But I want to say about 50% of your total carbohydrates for the day needs to be ingested 2 hours before your workout. Because I promise you, you will pass out if you don't. And that's regardless of heat or not. But to make matters worse, it's hot. If you did not ingest the right amount of carbohydrates before my workout, I strongly suggest you get a Gatorade and sip on that bad boy throughout our workout, because you're going to be hating life. So one of the things that I want you guys to understand is that you have to make those small adjustments, especially during the summertime, because this is a dangerous time. Both summer and winter are dangerous times for you to find yourself on the tail end of working out in excess and thinking that you're going to be fine as is. All right. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is, what are you going to do when you're in either social settings or you are the social setting yourself, which brings you to barbecuing, right? Well, obviously with all the sauces and the fixins that comes with with barbecuing, you have to separate what you can do from what everybody else is doing. Yes, I know the barbecue sauce is smoking. You made it yourself. As a matter of fact, you know you got your dad's recipe or you got your granddad's recipe, and it is the baddest barbecue sauce walking. But you can't partake in it like everybody else because you have a goal to reach. And you need to remain disciplined. Can you have one? Yes. Choose your favorite cut of whatever it is that you like. If it's one rib, it's one rib. If it's one chicken breast that has been coated in some barbecue sauce, make sure it is not slathered and drowning in it. Give it a nice good coating, nice little coating. Whatever sticks to it sticks. And then take it off the grill. Have your fun with that one chicken breast, and that is it. And then make adjustments for the level of protein that you're going to need to overcome that. Next, all your sides needs to be vegetables, because you have already used up your carbs from that sauce, from that one cut of meat. So then Make sure that you are supplying that for yourself if you are the person that is conducting the activities. However, if you are going to someone's house for an activity, then what you need to do is ensure that you have loaded on fibrous foods as much as you can. Tree bark, if you will. It's not really, but you know where I'm going. Vegetables, hardcore, solid, fibrous vegetables. Because what that does is it drinks some water. Now you don't need to drink a lot of water, but just drink some water. Why? Because what needs to happen is you need to be able to feel full when you get over there, so that way you don't indulge too much in the festivities that is the party. You'll refrain from drinking alcohol. You'll refrain from over-consuming any sugary drinks. You will refrain from overeating or overnourishing, both overeating and overnourishing yourself during this time frame, because you're full. You have too much fiber in your system. And when I say make sure your fiber's in your system, I mean literally an hour before you go there. And yes, over time, you're probably going to spend more of the time over there than your body is going to take to digest those fibers. But guess what? You're still going to feel full, because when you get those burgers and those chicken breasts and that one or maybe even two sauce covered pieces of meat, you're going to feel full. You're not going to go and overindulge and have 6-7 hot dogs. You're not going to have 4 burgers, and you're not going to have 10, 15, 20 chicken wings to go with it. You're going to learn that you're not going to be able to eat that much. Your eyes are not going to be as big as your head. Make sure that and then with the fiber, make sure that there's a level of protein with it too, because that means it sits in your stomach longer, meaning it'll diminish your appetite just that much, making you more successful during a social gathering that causes you to have to adjust. Next, check your mind. As you know, we're mindset, encouragement, accountability, and nutrition here at Stoutt Fitness. So, as a result, I want you to focus on what your mindset is like now that you are in the mid portion of the year, because this is all year round. This is not a once every few days thing. It is a all year round thing. So right now you're in the middle of the year. So guess what? Check yourself at the door. Okay. I want to make sure you guys understand this. It is raining right now, and there's a small possibility that I might lose power. If I do, I will reconnect with you again tomorrow with the rest of what I have to say about the summer. But for the time being, let's keep it moving. Check your mindset, because you need to make sure that you get what you want out of this journey. Okay? You want to look your best. You don't want to look your worst. And if you are not going to look your best, then you have to make adjustments to that mindset, so that way you can achieve the greatest things that you want out of fitness. Stop comparing yourself to other people. I want you guys to stop comparing yourself, because at the end of the day, who are you comparing yourself to? Somebody that looks nothing like you, chances are. That's like me comparing myself to The Rock. The Rock is 6'4", I'm 5'4". The Rock is 280, I'm 160. If I look at The Rock's physique and I look at him and how massive he is and how shredded he can get when he wants to, guess what I'm doing? I'm playing myself. I'm not going to get that. I'm not going to be that big. I can be large for my size, but I'm not going to be as big as The Rock. So I need to stop comparing myself to Mr. Dwayne Johnson. You need to celebrate your progress instead. When you get that, lose that percentage of body fat, when you gain that poundage of muscle, when you lift that extra weight that you weren't lifting a few weeks ago, celebrate those wins, because at no point in time are you going to find yourself winning with that mindset of, oh, I suck at this. What you see, like I said last week, what you see on social media is not real. Most of those people are not that jacked. And even if they are, they're not that jacked all year round. Okay? They're just not. So do not compare yourself to these Instagram models and these fitness gurus, because they don't look real all the time. Anybody you've seen who happens to be a bodybuilder or who happens to be a fitness influencer, and they might be a bodybuilder, I guarantee you they don't look like that all year round. It's not healthy. And I went over that last week. So when you go, when you go on vacation, right? What do? I already know what you do, because I used to do it. And I used to do it just because that's what I felt like doing. I knew the right thing to do. And what I used to do was stop everything. And then I'll eat and drink what I want for that week or two. And then I'll come back 10 pounds heavier than I intended on being. And then now I'm like, dang, I screwed up. And then it ends up being the worst. And now I got to go back to square one, instead of staying disciplined, like I said, and maintaining and giving myself those minor adjustments. Everybody else is having their kind of fun. So if that's their fun, let them do that. That's not what your type of time you're on. The type of time you're on is you're going on vacation, but at the same time, you still have a goal to reach. So, reach the goal. Don't sit back and be like, oh, well, my family's drinking, why can't I? Well, my family's eating burgers, why can't I? My family's eating pizzas, why can't I? Sure you can, but you got to moderate that and make sure you are on top of the game at all times. When I went to Florida last year for both business and pleasure, I met up with my family and we had a great time. And like I said, I came back and I gained 7 pounds. Because I was wilding. I think I went to the gym maybe twice that week. You see what I'm getting at? That is the part where you got to make those adjustments. And if you happen to go to the gym, please, for the love of God, have some etiquette. One of the biggest things that I don't like when I go to the gym personally is people act like they own the place. Even though my business partner owns the place. And even they don't act like that. For instance, I do my social media recordings, and I'm okay with it, and most of the patrons are okay with it, but it is my responsibility to have a level of decorum and a level of etiquette when I am utilizing that camera inside of a gym. Do not put the camera, first of all, don't put the camera anywhere that will encroach on someone else's workout. Meaning, don't put it in the way of other people. Now, if the gym was empty and nobody was there and you set up shop and you started going to work, and guess what? People start coming in, they could work around you. If you didn't take up the whole gym, that is. But if you have a little small section and that's what you're working on, go work on it. Do your thing. But let's say you came into the gym and it's not packed, but it's significantly filled, right? You want to set up your camera for social media, guess what? You ask, do you mind if I set this up? I won't put you in my shot, and it'll only take me roughly 6 to 7 minutes. Why? Because you shouldn't be recording every waking moment of your gym experience.
Not every rep in your entire workout needs to be seen. Just film one exercise for one set and move on. They'll get the gist. You don't need all of that crazy. You don't need to show a montage of your workout to such a degree where it becomes absolutely flat out annoying. Number 2, put your weights back. Clean up after yourself. Because guess what? Not everybody can move those 45-pound weights. You might have a dude or a female that is frail. They're walking around at 110 pounds soaking wet, and you got them trying to move 900 pounds of 45-pound plates off the leg press. It's ridiculous. So have some decency, have some etiquette, put your stuff back. Also, considering the fact that I've seen the hygiene practices of some of you people, you guys need to wipe down all of the equipment. MRSA is a thing. We don't want it. We don't want to get mono. We don't want to get those ill-fated diseases. And we don't want to smell your stink on the machine after you move from it. For the love of God, please clean up after yourselves and wipe the equipment down. It's gross. Also, I understand it's hot and I understand the weather will call for it, but do not dress skanky. That goes for men and women. And when I say skanky, fellas, compression pants with no drawers, knock it off. Knock it off. We see what you're trying to do, and it's corny. 100% corny. Lame, whack. Ladies, or walking in with jogging pants with no drawers on. That's corny, that's lame, right? Or shorts with no drawers on. Corny and lame, right? Ladies, 90% of your breast does not need to be outside of your sports bra in order for you to have an effective workout. You can still see your body and still respect yourself in the process. We don't need to see everything but your nipples. We don't need to see every part of your butt cheek minus the crack in the hole. We don't need to see the end of your glizzy. Okay? We don't need to see that. For all y'all are wondering, we're talking about that wrinkled end of the glizzy that looks just like a hole. It does. We don't need to see all that. And y'all doing too much. Yoga pants with the thong in the middle of it. Ridiculous. Not necessary. If you got body, your body will speak for itself. We don't need all the extra enhancements just to say that you're doing something. Feel me? Also, if you are interested in somebody in your gym, please wait for them to finish their set before you start a conversation with them. 2, for the love of God, please, please, please do not harass them. If you want to strike a conversation with them and they are not interested, do not stalk them. Do not leave notes on their car. Do not go talking to them crazy, because you might turn around and run into their boyfriend or their girlfriend. That goes for both men and women. Sexuality be damned. It does not matter. You're going to run into the wrong person when you do stuff like that. Say hello. They might say hello back. If they don't, leave them alone. So, I'm going to land this plane because the weather is getting worse, and I really do not want to lose this podcast before I close. So, do me a favor. After this show is over, I am going to get onto Instagram and Facebook, and I'm going to ask you guys to start sending in some fitness challenges or celebrate your wins. You can hit me up in my DMs and send me proper photos, Please don't send me no freaky photos because you will get blocked and I will clown you all over social media if you do. But send me some before and after photos so that we can celebrate the wins that you have already accomplished at this point in time. And if you can, ask me some questions online, and I would really appreciate it if you do, because I will have answers for you. And by the way, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and on YouTube. Have a nice day. Be the best you. Class is Stoutt.